what he wrote down. Right there.
It's page 73. It says, some have supposed the Americans to be descendants from the Chinese.
Pure madness. The Chinese are a lot descendants. The Chinese are Moab and the Japanese are Ammon. Okay?
But neither their religion, laws, customs, etc. agree in the least with those of the Chinese, which sufficiently proves they are not of the same line. Besides, as our best ships now are almost half a year in sailing to China or from thence to Europe, it is unlikely that they should attempt such dangerous discovery in early time, which their supposed small vessels against rapid currents.
Yeah, and their lungs was freeze during the Bering Strait. Going up towards Russia and coming down northern part of Russia and coming down and then going to South America. Nah, that's pure madness. The Bible plainly tell you how they came over it, how the 10 tribes came over it. So they cussed that madness, talking about they're descendants of the Chinese and went through the Bering Straits. Go ahead.
God. It says, and in the dark and stickly monsoons, especially, as it was very probable that they were unacquainted with the use of the lodestone to direct their course. China is above 8,000 miles distance from the American continent, which is twice as far as across the Atlantic Ocean. And we are not informed by any ancient writers of their maritime skills, or so much as any inclination that the ways besides small coasting voyages, the winds blow likewise with the little variation from east to west, wherein the latitudes of 30 and odd north and south, and therefore they could not drive them on the American coast. It's lying directly contrary to such course.
See that? So James Adair is going into it. You see, he's going into the records. I mean, he's jotting down about the natives, which you people don't understand the history of that. You see? So you people that's unlearned will come up on the comment board and say, oh, well they savages and they didn't go their route and they did this, they did that. You unlearned. You don't understand the history, nor do you have the records, and you subject to be an Edomite and subject to be a 2/3 responding just like that. Go ahead.
Neither could person sail to America from the north by the way of Tartary of ancient Scythia.
Yeah, the Tatars.
Tartaria,
yeah. The water. They are they go back to Ottoman Turks, and they are the Mongoloids that converted to Islam. And then you got some of them that was up in Russia dealing with the Khazars. So that's going back, when you look it up, it goes back to them Khazars, which are them so-called fake, without them so-called Jews. So they're trying to say that the natives are descendants of them gutter rats, okay? Which they are not. Go ahead. That was up in the Caucasus Mountains.
From its situation never was or can be a maritime power, and it is utterly impracticable for any to come to America by sea from that quarter.
From that quarter. And the Scythians go back to the Iranians. Okay?
It says, besides the remaining traces of their religious ceremonies and civil and martial customs are quite opposite to the light vestiges of the old Scythians. It says, several of the Indian nations assured us they crossed the Mississippi.
Oh, what?
That they crossed the Mississippi before they made their present northern settlements, which connected with the former arguments which sufficiently explored that weak opinion of the American Aborigines being lineal descent from the Tatars or the ancient Scythians.
So that's a cold cut. Show it to them, because they're going to say you made it up. Take that paper off there. I don't need that. Let me.
You don't need the paper?
Yeah, I don't need that no more. Now, you see all them, now I'm going to show you something. I don't know if we can get all into that, get all up into it, but where I got them tags at, them pages I want to jump to and show you what they were doing, but I don't know if I can get all into it. And I got other books, but like I said, I can only bring so much out through the Spirit, and that's just the way it is. But I got another one. That's page, and that's proof that they was calling this land another thing, 119, 115. Yeah, there you go. That's proof that they was calling this land Canaan.
This is page 115, A History of the North American Indians, James Adair. Our early American writers have bestowed on these Indians an emperor, according to the Spanish copy, calling him Powhatan, contrary to the Indian method of ending their proper names with a vowel, and have pictured them as a separate body of fierce idolatrous cannibals. We, however, find them in the present day of the same temper and religious tenets as the rest of the Indian Americans in proportion to this situation in life, considering the nearness of Egypt and Judea, that they might have derived that appellative from the Egyptians, especially as here and in several of our American colonies, particularly on the north side of the Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania, are old towns called Cana.
That's the point. That's the whole point I wanted to bring out. There's some more in there.
Yeah, there are about 30 years ago, a remnant of a nation subdivided tribes of Indians called Canaan, which resembles the Hebrew proper name Canaan.
See there? So that's plain. So they were called the land Canaan. Okay. So when Cali Brothers was down here, and I mentioned that book, you know, about they had brought out the scripture, and I was saying America was known as Canaan too. There's the evidence. I got another. Well, we're gonna jump here, but we're gonna jump back and forth. That's in this book right here. Okay, that's James Adair. Now I'm finna go into Manasseh. Well, the brother gonna show him that.
Come. Manasseh ben Israel. Henry McCullen, Gerald Nahum. It's page 118 to 119. The Nicaraguans forbid their women lately brought to bed to enter their temples till they are purified. They didn't have
Nicaragua. That's Zebulon.
Zebulon.
Yeah, Zebulon. So
Guatemala, Panama.
Yeah, Guatemala, Panama. So that's Zebulon that he's talking about. Okay? This Manasseh ben Israel is talking about Zebulon. So we read in at the second Ezra, the 13th chapter, how they came over here. And here it is, Manasseh ben Israel, which was a so-called rabbi, was studying them when he came over here, and these are the records that he took account of about Nicaragua, which is that's what Zebulon was inhabited for one of the tribes of Israel.
The Nicaraguans forbid their women lately brought to bed to enter the temples till they are purified.
That's in Leviticus 12 and 4. Tell you what that's at. You can read it, but it's in Leviticus 12 and 4. Okay.
The inhabitants of Hispaniola think that those sin who lie with a woman a little after her childbirth.
Oh, what?
A little after her childbirth.
So that's telling you right there. That's in the scripture. You know, that's in the scripture.
And the Indians of New Spain do severely punish sodomy.
Yeah, that's in the. Well, let me get that. Let me read that. Let me read that. That gotta come out. This is Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So that's plain. So they put sodomites to death. You see? But when this so-called white man came over here, he upholding it, which he's not of us. He's a deceiver. He's an Edomite to take away your heritage and have you try to cling to him so you can get destroyed. You see? Read that again. Huh?
It says, and the Indians of New Spain do severely punish sodomy. Many of the Indians bury their dead on the mountains, which is also the Jewish custom. And Garcia says the name Canaan is found in those countries.
What?
The name Canaan is found in those countries.
So they was calling North America Canaan, and they was calling South America Canaan. Show it to them, huh?
We read it.
We
says the Indians of Peru, New Spain, and Guatemala did marry the widows of their dead brethren.
That's Asher, Peru. That's up in Brazil. That's Brazil, Peru. That's Asher right there.
Yep.
Okay.
He said he married their dead brethren. That's Deuteronomy
25 and 5. I want to say. Oh no, that's dealing with
25 and 5
Go
to
ahead.
6. It says, if thy brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of the husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that the name be not put out of Israel.
That's plain, man. So they was keeping the customs. They was keeping the customs right there. Okay? They was keeping the customs, man.